I'm still loving my Kuretake Gansai Tambi colours, absolutely love them. Really wanted to try this ultramarine pale blue, this one is called. More like, I get the feeling of it being like a baby blue, really soft sky blue colour, and I'm using the white as well. I've just added on the blue just as little lines, and I'm going to add a watery mixture of the white because I've been wanting to paint white flowers for a little while, and I don't want to use the white of the paper, so I know I'm breaking the rules. This is really, really pretty. I really like how it's turning out so far. All I'm doing is just using my Princeton Neptune brush. It's size 8. It's synthetic bristles, but it still holds quite a lot of water, which is why I really like using this particular brush. And the paper is Balhong 100% cotton paper. I'm just adding some of that blue to the edges just to shape the petal a little bit, and to the centre of that flower as well. I really like using the white, so I'm definitely going to be using that white a lot more, just to create some really nice white or very light petals with a hint of colour, otherwise you won't be able to see it. I really like it. I'm absolutely loving these Kuretake Gansai Tambi paints. Right, let's do another one. A bit of an angle this time, I think, around here, and exactly the same thing. Put your paints down like lines, lots of little lines. The important thing is to make sure there's quite enough pigment on the paper. Rinse your brush, get your white nice and watery, and then pull the colour out, and it should mix on the paper. If you want smaller petals, use a smaller brush. If you want bigger petals, use a bigger brush. Sounds obvious, but you can make bigger petals with a smaller brush as well. You just have to shape it a bit more. But this size, this shape is perfect for me. And then grab a touch more of that blue while the painting is still a bit wet, and then the edges that I'm creating here will bleed or bloom nicely into the white of the petal. So just in case you didn't know, in watercolour painting, the key rule about white is this: you usually don't paint white. You leave the paper white, because traditional watercolour is transparent, and artists or professional artists rely on the white of the paper to create highlights and light areas, and then once you've painted over an area with darker pigment, it's quite difficult to get that bright white back. But I'm not a traditional person. I like to break all the rules, and I like to experiment and try things out. The white came with my 48 set of Kuretake Gansai Tambi colours. I'm going to use it. Of course I'm going to use it, otherwise it's going to be wasted. Just the same as I'm going to use the black as well. So I'll probably use the black at some point just to test them out, just to try them out. I've done a third flower on here as well. Wanted to add another one on. It is still looking a touch bit pale, so I've picked up the normal ultramarine. Why can't I say ultramarine? Ultramarine blue. This one is quite dark, and I'm just going to use it. I'm just going to drop it into the edges. I'm not going to use it everywhere, and I'm going to use it to create a stem as well, which I'll do that in a second. What is your opinion on white and breaking the rules as well? Are you a traditional artist or a beginner artist and you would like to stick to the rules, or do you think you'd like to break/bend the rules? Let me know in the comments what you think. So I'm going to add on 3 stems, and then I'm going to leave it to dry and then come back to it and just see what it looks like. So I am back, and I'm picking up the same ultramarine, and I'm just going to go in with my little touches. Again, here's my little touches that I love. It's not turned out quite the way I thought, because it's still looking quite blue and not white. You wouldn't associate this with as a white flower, I don't think. I think you'd still call it a blue flower. I suppose it doesn't really matter. I still really like the end results, and I'm just going to drop in a few of those little touches again, just on the edges. And if I wanted to, I could paint the background, but I quite like how it's looking overall. That's another controversial topic, whether to paint backgrounds or not. I have touched on that before, but I'm just going to drop in a few sort of areas just to define the petals a little bit more. I still want to paint white flowers. I still think that is definitely something I'm going to explore, but these have just turned out really, really nice. I am going to do one last thing: add splatter. I haven't added splatter for a little while, I feel like. So just to give it a final touch, because I'm not going to do the background, I'm just going to give it a final touch, and I think it works. And then also I am going to add my signature on this as well, because I'm really pleased with it. I hope this helped you.